Here's the story of some of the red flags that I came across after I met and ended up marrying a narcissist. This video is for educational purposes, and by no means is it intended to bash anyone. I'm using this platform to share advice for those willing to listen to my mistakes and to learn from them. With that being said, we'll start off with red flag number 1. When I met him, he told me that he was 21 years old. I was 18 at the time. There was supposed to be a 3-year age difference between us. However, I find out later that he was actually 24 and there was a 6-year age difference between us. This first lie seemed like something subtle, but this lie was just the start of many more to come. And keep in mind, the way you respond to the first lie shows that person your tolerance for lying. So depending on your response, the person is going to receive it as an acceptable or unacceptable behavior moving forward. After a couple of years passed, red flag number 2 showed up. Turns out that he was hiding the fact that he had a daughter back in his home country. I would always see pictures of the little girl online with his mom and with his sister and brother. He even had her name tattooed on him. He initially told me that this was his niece, and I believed it. Comes to find out, he later confesses that this was indeed his daughter. Now, this lie was upsetting because when I did ask him why'd he lie, he responded, "I thought you'd leave me." His response was even more alarming to me than him having an estranged child, because it revealed to me that he was only looking out for himself and his own interest at the time. Now, I love kids, but I just do not like the fact that this was hidden from me. So as you can see, the lies are beginning to stack up. Red flag number 3 was his poor relationship with his family members. He would always try to make me feel bad for him and complain to me anytime his family member would deny him a favor. He honestly made himself out to be the black sheep, and they were the ones who disliked him. He even used the excuse that him being mixed race had something to do with it. But as I started to observe more and ask the right questions, I found out that he was the main reason for the broken relationships he had with his family. There are always 2 sides to a story, and you're best off being biased to the side that actually takes accountability for their part. Be cautious of the side that always victimizes themselves, because this comes in a form of manipulation. Red flag number 4. He was very jealous and held grudges. He would have times where he would question and accuse me of cheating on him. This was never the case for me, and it kind of broke my heart that he would question my character and loyalty like he did. He would oftentimes allow his jealousy to get the best of him. So anytime I had any type of engagements, whether it's talking, just small conversations, he would interject, or his actions or face would show that he disapproved. I could literally be talking to the Pope himself, and he would have a problem with that. He took a lot of these small things personal, and it was definitely a hit to his pride. He would also try to use psychology on me and ask what I would do if he cheated on me. And sometimes he would make jokes about finding another girl anytime he got upset with me. I learned that people will accuse you of things that they are already doing. They project onto you what they're doing because they are guilty themselves. You have to listen and read between the lines because they are sharing a confession with you. Moving on to red flag number 5. He got me the wrong engagement ring. This story is a little weird. We had conversations in the past about marriage, and one day we went ring shopping. I got my finger size for my ring and showed him the exact ring and diamond cut that I wanted. The jeweler even gave him a card with the ring information, so when he was ready to get it, he'd know which one to ask for. A few months later, after visiting the shop, he proposed to me. He pulls out a ring that I'd never seen before. So the ring style was different, the diamond cut was different, and the box he even bought it from was different from the jeweler that we had met with at the store that day. This made me question, was I even being heard? Why was my request for the ring that I wanted disregarded, and you just got me something that I never asked for in the first place? But unfortunately, I settled for it, just like I realized I did with this relationship. The lesson in the situation is, if your wants or needs aren't met by the person that loves you and the person that you love, you need to speak up and know your worth and allow your actions to show what you feel that you are worth. This is not a situation where I felt ungrateful at all. However, I felt I wasn't being heard and my wishes were not being respected. So, for example, if you were to request a Honda, you don't want someone showing up in a Hyundai, right? It's not what you asked for. So it's like the principle. So this young and naive version of me just accepted whatever this man had to offer. Red flag number 6 was the love bombing and gaslighting that I experienced in this relationship. Anytime this man would do something wrong, he would apologize, shower me with gifts, or start helping me out around the house. He would even have his dad call me sometimes just to remind me how much his son loved me and wanted to marry me. He would then behave for the next few days following whatever transgression that occurred. Then later he resorted back to questionable behavior. He'd often gaslight me into believing that I was the one losing my mind anytime I questioned him about things that I became suspicious of. And he would even blame me for his own behavior at times. And what I learned from this is, don't accept apologies without consistent actions that follow them. And don't let anyone fool you into thinking something that you know and your intuition shows you is accurate. So you have to stand your ground and speak confidently. Stand up for yourself. My best advice for someone that is going through a situation of gaslighting, love bombing, and lies: do not let someone let you down twice. Giving second chances to people you know are not going to show up for you is taking a big risk. So you're kind of gambling on their potential to do right. Moving on to red flag number 7. Whenever I decided I wanted a divorce and communicated that to him, he'd bring up the Bible. So he tried to weaponize the Bible and make me feel guilty about walking out on our marriage. He would say things like, God hates divorce. If you don't forgive me, God won't forgive you. And this was just forms of manipulation to try to make me stay with him. So don't allow a hypocrite to preach the gospel to you unless you plan to end up like them. So the Bible is a tool of love and not a weapon used to judge or to chastise people for their choices. One thing about being in a relationship with a narcissist is that they are masters at mind games. So red flag number 8 is going to show you just that. Anytime he knew I was serious about leaving him, he threatened to hurt himself or to live a reckless life if he didn't have me. He would communicate that he would just be ready to give up on life and maybe get into some dangerous things if it came down to that. I ended up getting a therapist at the time, and I did exactly what she suggested that I do. I gave him the suicide hotline number, and he actually saw this as a joke. So this showed me that he was using this as a manipulation tactic to keep me around. And till this day, he is alive and well, so he is not in any danger whatsoever. I even invited him to some of my therapy sessions at the time, and he just upright refused because he felt like he did not have any problems, and if he did, we could work our own problems out, and he did not need anyone else's assistance to do that. Mind games are something that you never want to give into, and sometimes it could be really tough when it's someone that you love, but you have to have enough faith and trust that whatever course of life is going to take place for that person is going to happen, and you hold no responsibility for that. Allow people to live, and you need to move on and live your life as well. Therapy can be very helpful as well if you're someone who's dealing with a narcissist or someone that has narcissistic traits. Even if you're doing therapy alone, so you don't have to have that person there, just having an outlet and having someone to advise you moving forward through your healing process can be very beneficial. Red flag number 9 was revealed in his actions. So after we separated for about a year and a half, I officially filed for divorce. And during this time span, I observed his actions, his communication or lack thereof, and it showed me his true priorities and intentions. And this helped me confirm my decision that it was time for me to go. I even ended up telling him after that year that I was watching his behavior, and it gave me the conclusion that I needed. I got lots of clarity on which direction that I needed to go. And his response was, "You should have told me that you were watching, and I would have actually tried to win you back if I had a chance. I had lost hope after you left." But when you know the eyes are on you, it's easy for you to put on your representative and be the person that they need you to be in order to mend the relationship. Honestly, I believe a person's actions without warning will show you where they want to be and what they desire to do with their life. You shouldn't have to tell them how to live, but let them show you how they want to live. If a person does not show you their dedication and they don't show you that real change has happened to them, and they haven't shown you that you are a priority and their heart is positioned in the right place for a relationship to thrive, then you need to move on with your life and go into the direction where you feel loved, valued, and prioritized. This was just a few of many red flags that I noticed in my 8-year relationship with a narcissist. If you are interested in a part 2, put part 2 below in the comments. And I'm also thinking about making a video where I show my red flags where I may have went wrong in the relationship. So if you're interested in that as well, please leave some feedback below so I can see where to make this next video, which direction to go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, share this video if you found it helpful so I can get this message out to as many people that needs it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.